Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for being here today. Today we are going to be talking about review culture. Let's get into it. As the technological connection that we have with people, businesses, and the world itself increases, the frequency with which we are asked to rate and review the things that we interact with has increased as well. This idea came up for me when I was getting an emissions test on my car at Jiffy Lube. An emissions test measures the pollutants that your car produces to make sure that they're in line with environmental standards, more than likely of your state or county. I had to do it so that I could re-register my car. So I went to my local Jiffy Lube. I paid like, $15 for a test, not too much. And the entire service took about 15 to 20 minutes to complete. It's a pretty brief service. Not too many hoops to jump through. Whenever I was about to leave, the technician who performed the emissions test asked me if I would leave a Google review for him, if I was satisfied with the service, if it was a positive experience for me. And while leaving this review probably would have taken me like less than 3 minutes, literally would have been so quick, I still found myself procrastinating this task. Hours later, I was still thinking about the fact that I had not left the review. To this day, I still have not written the review. I won't lie. So this whole experience, along with some other experiences I will go into in this video, got me thinking why do I feel like kind of guilty for not leaving this review? And why is everyone asking me for reviews in the first place? So on the one hand, it is an extremely low lift for me to just leave the review. I know this, okay? I could have literally left it, not ever thought about it again, and I would have never had to make this video. Start to finish, probably would have taken me about 3 minutes. But on the other hand, I went to Jiffy Lube for a simple, quick service. Emissions tests do not take that long. So I wonder if a service that quick really warrants me going to Google and leaving a 5-star review. I am not saying that this man who asked me for the review didn't do an excellent, if not perfect job on my emissions test. I'm not saying that at all. But is it necessary? Should I feel compelled to leave a review on this brief service that I got done in my car? Like, I can see this turning into going to Walgreens or something and you get a bag of Skittles and you check out and someone is asking you for a review on your checkout experience. It's getting quicker and quicker and more immediate. Flip it around. If my car was messed up, okay, and I got like a 3-hour service done, I might feel a little bit more like emotionally compelled to leave a review. I think that would be a more deserving case of a review. And I think this whole review thing is in line with like being asked to tip items at the counter. Like you're just going to get like a froyo or something and the establishment asks you for a tip. What I'm saying is it's not the employee's fault. I am not talking about the employees here. The employees are perfect and wonderful and they're just getting their bag. I'm saying that these companies are going to milk us for all we got if we don't put a stop to it, okay? So again, I do not condemn this worker for asking me to review the service. I'm sure it's the company or at the very least his manager that is somehow asking him or incentivizing him in some way to ask customers for reviews. Maybe the more reviews he gets, the more likely he is to get a bonus. Maybe these high ratings and reviews could increase his chance for a promotion. Valid. Ask for the review. But this Jiffy Lube scenario, this was just the inciting incident that made me look at this whole rating and review culture from like a meta perspective. Like, what is this review culture that we have found ourselves in? So another example that I've noticed this in, you've probably noticed this in, is when you call customer service for something. Like let's say you're calling customer service for your insurance and you need to get like something tweaked on your policy. That call that you have, it lasts like a minute. The person is nice, they fix the problem, whatever, but the call was like a minute, okay? I called customer service reasonably expecting that they're gonna fix my problem. They fix the problem, it's like a minute-long thing. Bam, 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 good to go. And so you're on the phone, problem's fixed. The customer service rep says, hey, if you can, stick around. There's going to be a quick survey about if you were satisfied with my service. And I'm like, okay, I'm already on the phone. This was quick, a minute. What's a survey going to do? It's not going to kill me, okay? I can stick around on the phone and give a brief survey. Why the heck not? So, you stay on the line to give the good review, and then you're routed to a series of questions that never seem to end. It's like question 1, are you satisfied? Okay. Question 2, was your problem fixed? Okay. Question 3, did you like the tone of their voice? Question 4, it never stops. It really never stops. My theory is that like with AI, they were constantly AI generating the questions so that there's never a stopping point. And so if you have ever made it to the end of those series of questions, let me know, because I usually just hang up the phone after like 5. I'm like, how long could this go on for? They said it was a brief survey. It wasn't very brief. Sometimes the time it takes to review the call is longer than the call itself. And so the same thought, albeit self-centered, comes to me in these situations. Why am I asked to review this service that took minutes to complete? It's like they want me to review every minute of my life. Like, I'm going to go to Walgreens, I'm going to get those Skittles, and then I'm going to have to leave a review. I think that's where we're headed. I'm going to be sitting at a traffic light, and I'm going to be waiting for it to turn from red to green, and then I'm going to get a notification on my phone being like, was that traffic light long enough? Was it short enough? What's your rating of it out of 5? In 5 years, if this is happening, please refer back to this video. Thank you. So, this idea that we are being repetitively asked to review car technicians, waitresses, customer service reps reminds me of the Black Mirror episode. It's season 3, episode 1. The title of it is Nosedive. In this episode, the citizens of this sci-fi world are able to see how someone is rated with like a little bubble next to their head. You can go up to 5 with the rating. And a person's rating comes from other people giving them ratings, kind of like social media, which is what really the episode I think is nodding to. But what I think is interesting is that not only in this sci-fi world can you rate people through social media, give a quick 5 stars, 4 stars, 1 star, they are also rating each other on in-person interactions, no matter how superficial the interaction is.
And that's one brushed swing. You want a cookie with that? It's on the house.
Sounds awesome. See you tomorrow, JJ.
See you, Lacey.
And so, like I said, I do think this episode is more of a nod to how society overvalues people that perform well on social media, creating this picture-perfect life when in reality that's just not how it works. I don't think that the frequency with which we are being asked to rate and review these businesses and their employees is immune to this critique that superficial ratings create a superficial society. So let's get into talking about, where does this review culture come from? Why are these companies asking us to rate and review so often? So, in 2024, Forbes cited a study from Bright Local which said that 98% of people consult reviews before making a purchase decision, with an average consumer reading about 10 reviews before forming their own opinion. So we as consumers trust other real humans' experiences and opinions enough to help us decide if we should get the same product or service. By reading these reviews, we are looking for certainty that the money we spend at these businesses is going to be money well spent. The article also says that many people rely on ratings because they prefer not to spend time thoroughly researching a product and trust the apparent majority instead. Basically, instead of doing a whole lot of product research, we trust other people's opinions enough to help us come to a conclusion. It's sort of a little shortcut so that we don't have to know every single thing about a product before buying it. If other people like it, then I'm gonna like it. I am constantly on companies' review sections before choosing to spend my money somewhere. It might be a restaurant, it might be like the Amazon reviews, but trust me, I'm gonna be there. If a company has no reviews on their website, I'm gonna assume that there's a chance the company is a scam. And so this leads to another interesting point that the article raises. If a company or product or a restaurant even, if the reviews are too perfect, then people are also skeptical of that. So if you have like 400 reviews, you've got 5 out of 5 stars, that's just not possible. People know this and they automatically don't trust those reviews. They would rather see like a more balanced mix of reviews where they can see positive opinions, negative opinions, and then come to a conclusion on their own. So, with all this being said, humans love reading reviews. We love it, okay? It is no wonder that companies are trying to milk us for every review we got. We are the reason that companies are asking us for all these reviews. I am the maker of my own threats. I don't know, is that I don't think that's a quote, but it sounded right. I am the blame. You are the blame. We are all the blame. So the next time you're being asked to leave a review, just know whose fault it is. So again, these companies are trying to collect as many positive reviews as possible because reviews clearly aid consumers in making purchase decisions, i.e., if you've got more positive reviews, it increases the likelihood that someone will spend money with you. So, redirecting the conversation back to service workers, when I'm out in the wild, I specifically notice this at the bigger national chains. Small but related tangent, I'm currently doing a calorie deficit, so I'm basically tracking my calories every day. I have been steering clear of restaurants where I don't know how many calories are in everything, and that leads me to these national chains where they all have the calories on the menu. Just this past weekend, I went to 3 national restaurant chains, which some people may find is an issue, but I stayed under my calorie deficits. So I went to Red Lobster, Dave & Buster's, and another Broken Egg. I'm really living life, y'all. Out of these 3 places, 2 out of 3 of them asked for the review at the end of the meal. At another Broken Egg, the waitress, once we were done with our meal, gave us her business card that I assume maybe all the waitresses have, and it had a QR code where you could just scan it and it would take you to Google reviews. So it like automatically filled in her name. All you had to do was type out the review. And I did leave that one because I'm trying to be better, okay? And so if this assumption is correct that it's more these national chains pushing their employees to ask for the review, then that would also make sense why the Jiffy Lube worker asked me for the review as well, because, you know, that's a national chain too, just in a different industry. Also, this morning, I went and picked up a grocery order, and right after I did the grocery order, the store texted me asking, like, review your order, give us a rating and review on your order. So y'all, I'm sorry, but if you watch this video, now you're never gonna be able to unsee the review society that we live in. It's everywhere. Back to my more serious claim that superficial ratings create a superficial society. I know you're probably rolling your eyes behind the iPhone screen. I did the same when I first had this thought pop out of my head, but I gave the idea a chance and there actually might be something to it. When I was thinking into it, I thought about the fact that these businesses, I guess like more so the employees, are showing up to work with this inauthentically positive attitude solely to get the 5-star review. And I know you're probably rolling your eyes again because it's like, okay, anyone in the service industry knows that you show up to work and have to fake a positive attitude to be in front of customers. But I think the fact that you could be rated on every single interaction you have with a customer exasperates that. Back in the day, if you were in the 1970s, you had an off day, you were rude, the only person that would know about it is you and that person. Now it's like you have to be perfect all the time. So if you are a service worker, let me know in the comments if this has affected you at all. And I do think it really like personally affects the worker because like in the case of my another Broken Egg waitress, her review card automatically took me to the Google reviews and had her name filled in. So it's very much like these waiters and waitresses are asking for a personal positive review for themselves. It's not like just about the restaurant. You identify them by name. So when it comes to leaving reviews on people rather than just like a standalone B2C e-commerce product, these customer service reps, car technicians, waitresses are more often than not showing up to their jobs, slapping a smile on their face to go above and beyond for that 5-star review. And if my assumptions are correct, I assume that they potentially are getting a sort of bonus Maybe it's something like where if you hit a certain number of reviews, you get paid on that. Even just like an internal competition and you get recognized, you get like verbally validated amongst employees, and that like could set you up for a promotion and help your career trajectory if you wanted to maybe be a manager of a franchise. Or so again, if anyone has worked at one of these like national chains, let me know in the comments. Is this happening? I would like to confirm or deny. And so I know like the 5-star review isn't the only reason in a customer facing role to show up and be positive, even if you don't feel like it. Like in the instance of the waitress, she's getting paid on tips. And so, you're incentivized to fake it till you make it for the cash as well. But I don't doubt that those positive or negative reviews left on Google personally and professionally affect her. It feels really good when someone says that you did something well. And like I said, she may be getting recognized at work verbally from her manager. Maybe she's recognized in meetings with her other coworkers, or take it a step further, she might be getting compensated financially for having great reviews. Again, let me know. Thank you. So, from a bird's eye view, I think that it's fair to assume that the dangling the carrot of a positive review increases people being positive at work, especially in the roles that aren't commission-based or tip-based. If you had no other reason to slap a smile on your face aside from the 5-star review, the review might get you there. The same way that commission causes the sleazy car salesman to slap a smile on the face, talk your ear off, be super smooth, be super suave, it's the same thing. The 5-star review might be incentivizing people in the same way. And no shade if you are in one of those customer-facing roles where you slap a smile on for the check. Do what you gotta do to get your check. I am being more critical about what fake positivity at work signals is happening on like a grander level. Step 1, big corporations realize that happy smiling faces make them more money. Step 2, corporation uses external validation to incentivize employees to slap a smiling face on. Step 3, employee shows up to work with fake smiling face and positive attitude to increase a bottom line that they are so far removed from. I think it's just more about the like transactional reasons why it's being done in the first place that makes me be like, not my favorite thing. These corporations, it's their job to squeeze the juice out of every little thing, to get that bottom line, to get those dividends. And it's not just like supply chain or logistics, it's also their employees' emotions. Like if we can just make sure that they are happy presenting, doesn't matter if they're happy inside, if they are happy presenting, then that's going to be good for our bottom line. I may be being a little dramatic, but it's just kind of how I see it. And I am not a capitalism hater. Do not take what I'm saying and think I just like hate this system. But I think it's okay to be realistic about the transactional nature of the system and what interesting things that might breed. Anything a big corporation does is for the cash, okay? Like rarely is there gonna be an altruistic component to what they're doing. It's about the dividends, it's about the bottom line, it's about the stocks, you know. And I think capitalism is beautiful for anyone that wants to start a business, has a passion, or even just wants to make more money than they are at their corporate job. But there is the late stage capitalism where these companies that have been around for so long, it's just literally the only thing it's about is money. How can you iterate to where you get this just like perfect cash producing model? Sometimes to the detriment of people. So again, whether people showing up fakely positive to their customer facing jobs, whether that's a good or bad thing, I don't think anyone's calling the cops over it. It's in some ways not that deep. I just made it kind of deep in this video. There's much worse things happening in the world than people showing up and being fakely positive at their jobs. And I think if you asked customers, would they prefer that the person serving them or completing a service for them, would they rather that that person be positive and happy? I'm sure most people would say, heck yeah. But I think at some point you can feel if something's not genuine. CC, the sleazy car salesman that will do anything to make the sale. And like, if people are showing up positively to their jobs, like maybe I'm living in like unicorn land, but I would rather that be genuine than them just doing it to appease their employer. I would like the system that we're living in to be set up to where you don't have to be transactional with your happiness, like trading a fake smile for a 5-star review. I know sometimes you just gotta show up, slap the smile on, and get her done, but wouldn't it be nice if, you could just like be yourself some days? I know people like in customer facing roles don't have that privilege, but whatever. I'm going back and forth. I swear sometimes I have like 2 people arguing in my brain being like, well, you have this. Oh, but you also have this. Bam, bam, bam. I'm a girl of nuance, what can I say? But I do think, funnily enough, there's something to be said for the trope of like the old waitress sitting behind the counter, smoking a cigarette, barking at you to get your order in so she can clock out early. That is true authenticity. Though it's not positivity, I think that real give no F's attitude adds character to our society. Like if everyone's sitting there like SpongeBob SquarePants, like, I don't know. Are we going to lose out on some of those people that have a bit more character to them? And on that same vein, back to Black Mirror. At the start of that episode, the main character, Lacey, you can see her basically practicing how to be more likable in society. And you can tell she's like a people pleaser, pushover. She's just doing whatever she can do to get a higher rating. It's completely transactional, and she's honestly pretty fake. And so at the beginning of the episode, she's pretty insufferable. And then throughout this episode, you see this like fake exterior crack, and she becomes a much more likable and relatable character. And I think there's a lesson to be taken from that. And so to wrap things up, I more just wanted to dig into this idea of review culture and the effect it might be having on the authenticity of the businesses we interact with. Thank you guys for watching. If you have a more firsthand personal experience on the employee side, like if you work at one of these chain restaurants, or maybe you even work at a local place where they incentivize you to get reviews from customers, let me know. I'd like to hear that side of things more, because I did a lot of like speculation on what that might be like. So would love to hear about your experience in the comments. I feel like that would add another interesting layer to the conversation. Thanks guys for watching. I will see y'all next Wednesday. Who knows what I'm going to talk about next week? I am excited to see. I will see y'all next Wednesday. Goodbye.